Hey folks, Kyle here, Jason Desert. Welcome back to yet another video. So today is the first video on a teaching series I'm planning on doing. The goal is to just do a short video, or however long the video goes, because I like to ramble sometimes, however long I feel, on a variety of different topics. Now, some of these will cover like beginner topics that people might find useful, such as like different roles in the auction and like basic inventions a new player might want to know. And some will cover like advanced intermediate topics, like things I just think about all the time that I think would make a good video. So I went ahead. You can see on the screen down there that we have kind of a loose list of topics that I'm thinking of. So some of the beginner topics I'm thinking of are describing, opener, responder, overcall, advancer, like the different roles and like positions you can have in bridge and how it changes your bridge thinking and like how not to muddle them a bit. A list of like common conventions. For both like a pure beginner and like the whole like grind of like common intermediate conventions, just like any decent player should know. Going through a convention card, defensive carding and principles, think about declare play, think about defense, the bidding cliff, I like to call it, like how not to overbid, and then when to bid aggressively, kind of the converse of that. Perhaps a video on fun bidding systems, and what systems I think are actually good, and then a video for like intro to precision. So these are kind of the basic ones I have. If you have any topics in particular you would want to see, please let me know in the comments below or in the Discord channel. I'm very open to like what would potentially make a good topic. These are just kind of the list I brainstormed. And so to get started today, I thought we'd do kind of the one that's most intuitive and easy for me to just get started in film. Perhaps this might be one of the longer ones. But the one I wanted to do for today's video was actually skipping to going through a convention card. Like when I sit down with a new partner of different skill levels, like how do I fill out a card? What are the things I'm thinking about? All of that jazz. So without further ado, we can do this for either the old card or the new card. I was actually gonna do it with the old card because I know many people prefer that. So without further ado, we're gonna actually just do this for the old card. We're gonna like pretend I'm picking up with a new 2/1 partner of at least intermediate level, and like what are the things a player like me thinks about and asks a new partner. So without further ado, you'll wait for the name. Yeah, that's my full name. We'll go Ace in the Desert plus new partner. So things I generally check. Normally I put like 2/1 here. Normally, I almost always play 2/1 game forcing. Some people play game forcing, it's absolute bid. Often check third hand light because my ideas of third hand, particularly like I'm okay with creativity. You generally check two clubs forcing. And then we get into the one no section. So most people will play 15 to 17 here. We can do the same. With a top expert partner, I've started to disclose because I like to upgrade a lot of hands with like 5 controls to a one opener that are in the 14 part range or like particularly like a 5 card suit. So like with most, I think top players are starting to put like good 14 to 17 here. If you play something like short club, you might play this as pure 14 to 16. Next, we always check Stamen. 5 card major suit common. You should never open one major with 15 to 17 balance and a 5 card major. Unless you play like Gazilli or like some other fancy method that's just like not common these days. Sorry, my dog's having a fit behind me. Smithy, stop it. Come here. Okay. Getting him to calm down. I don't want growling animal noises in the video. So most people put systems on over like double 2 clubs in a partnership. Everyone plays Stamen and transfers. 2 spades and 2 no. Now, these are often like flexible things on a card. Some people prefer 2 no as a convention called minor suit Stamen. Some people play this as like a balanced invite, no 4 card major. Some people play it as balanced invite, no 4 card major, or clubs, which is what I often do. So you can do one of those things there. And depending on what this is, most people play 2 no as minors, or both minors, weak, or diamonds is a thing I like to do. Again, this is like pretty flexible. Let's say for a basic card, we play minor suit Stamen. And we're going to play... let's say for a basic card, we play this as a strength ask or clubs. For a basic partner, I normally play this as diamonds, maybe may, both minors weak, or minors weak. Like, so this is what I would normally put on a card. Most people play 1-no, 3 clubs as modified puppet. Is the thing I often ask. This is like asking partner if they have just like a 5-card major, but we don't really care if they have a 4-card major or not, because if you're 4 for better, you go through Stamen. Most people play this as like 5/5 minors game force. Normally I'd ask a new partner what 1-no, 3 diamonds, 3 major means, because people play that as various ways, flagging a minor, showing a stopper, good stuff. For these, classically people would play these as like 5/5 minor invite, 5/5 minor, 5/5 major invite, 5/5 major game force. When I look at like these 3 bids, I often play this as like 3 spades plus heart shortness, and this as 3 hearts plus spades shortness. So it's sort of like a mini Smolin-ish thing, but you're showing weakness in the other major. And often, you would have 9 cards in the minors, usually both minors, and exactly 3 of the major. This is what I would often put on a card. Texas, normally you talk about what level you play it through. I like to play Texas personally through like a 3 heart overcall, because I guess you could play it through a 3. Yeah, I like it over a 3 heart overcall, for sure. Because if it goes like 1-no, 3 spades, it's nice to have 4 minors natural personally. Because like through 3 hearts, I don't know. So like you have to pick the level your comfort playing Texas transfer on. It's a very common convention. Usually 3 hearts or 3 spades. I just discuss with the partner, like what we're comfortable with. Smolin is a common convention. This is like 1-no, 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 3 major. Shows 5 of the other major, 4 of the other, and then there's often some fun follow-ups. Most people play some form of Lebensal, usually Fastenize is what I'd put on the card of a new partner. Negative doubles over 1-no. So it's like 1-no, they overcall. Presumably something natural, because if they play something artificial, you want to play a different defense. For a thing like this, the modern style is to play negative doubles. The old style was to play like negative at the 3 level, I think, and penalty at the 2, or some people play penalty at both 2 and 3. There's not really a great standard. I personally believe a double in these kind of auctions should just be like take out a weaker, like competitive, like constructive hand, because you really just want to compete for the part score in today's day and age, because people bid so aggressively. Getting like a small minus or like just plus 50, particularly at like match points, may not be enough. You may just be bleeding imps. So that's something I put on there. Often I'll write in other conventions like bays, or particularly it's usually called reverse bays. Bays is like a sequence like 1-no. It's basically 1-no, 2 clubs, 2 major, and then it's like what your jump shift in the other major and higher are. So usually it's like 3 other major plus. And usually, you usually have a quant bid, you usually have a quant with a fit bid, you normally have a way to key card, you normally have a way to show like a forcing raise of shortness. These are the common American way. If you're non-American, some people play like some other natural structures and or like transfers and cool things. Definitely search that up if you're looking for cool gadgets. But this is what I'm going to put on the card. 2-no, we're going to put 20 to 21. Sorry, peeking at my dog. Okay, making sure he's okay. 2-no is 2021. Modern styles to play some sort of puppet statement or Muppet statement. I'll usually ask partner about that. Transfers. People never really have a great structure. 2-no, 3 spades. You can play this as minor suit statement is what I'm starting to like. Some people play this as a relay to 3-no to just advance or key card in a minor or do something. Good things like that. Over 3-no. Most people put gambling. I've seen Sia play this as like some 8-call, like 6-card major type hand. I know a good Grand Life Master in Chicago that prefers this as like purely like 8-call, like 15 to 19, like good hand of minor. Some people play this as like part of a Namiat structure. There's all sorts of cool things you could do, but usually gambling simple. I did forget some things of 1-no. So common sequences I love to talk about with a new partner for 1-no is like 1-no, 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 2 major. Like, what is that? Most people play 2 hearts as weak. Some people play 2 spades as invitational, or they play both as weak. I prefer one note, two clubs, two diamonds, two major to always be natural invitational because I think the benefit of playing two major and having entries to Responder's hand is more important than um, like running away weak with both majors. Like if you're weak with both majors, just transfer to your weaker one. Um, the benefit of this kind of like crawling, it's called crawling stamen to play one note, two clubs, two diamonds, like two hearts this week. Um, the benefit of that is like if you have like a stronger crawling stamen hand, like you might find game. So there are like some benefits to that. Whereas you might miss a 4-4 major suit game with like those more like intermediate hands. So there are some benefits, but I personally prefer two major natural invitational. I think that's a lot better. So going down the card, I'm trying not to bog this down because you can talk forever on like a zillion different things. Also, if one no, good things to talk about are like different major suit links for your transfers. So like over two no, like what's two no, two diamonds, three hearts, three spades. Is that five hearts, four spades? You really want to have good agreements like that. Some people like, do you want to like with 5-5 majors? Do you always force to 4 major? Or can partner have a 6-card minor? These are great things to talk about with a new partner. That's usually something I spend extra time on. For major openings, we usually play 5-card majors. It's common these days, like with a pickup partnership, to play like some sort of Bergen. Usually, I prefer reverse Bergen because it's better. So 3 clubs as your limit bid, 3 diamonds as your mixed. In some partnerships, I play 1 major, 3 major as mixed, and 1 major, 3 clubs as limit. But that has its flaws too. The more modern style I've started to play the last year or so is playing 1 major, 2 no. It's invitational plus with 4 pieces. And then you get 1 major, three minor to be like a natural invitational jump shift, just like a pure great suit, like 11-point hand. It's a very hard hand to show in standard. So you can fill in things like that here. Let's just say weak, Bergen, standard Jacoby. People play a major 3 no as different things. I ask partner. Some people prefer like a heart 3 spades and a spade 3 no to be mini splinters. Some people prefer a major 3 no to be like balanced choice of games, like 4-3-3 specifically, usually something like that. Here you can discuss if you play splinters, fun stuff. 1 no forcing versus semi forcing. So classic is to play is purely forcing. You always rebid a 3-card minor. I prefer the style of semi forcing. So semi-forcing is partner can pass 1 no. So you have to talk to your partner if you're comfortable. Like, can a 3-card limit, if responder is a 3-card limit raise, can you play 1 no if partner is a dead minimum? Maybe for the group partnership is yes. Maybe for your partnership that's no. Maybe you want to put those 3-card limit raises somewhere else. Or maybe you want to play it as purely forcing. This is all just like pure style, like what you like. It's always a good discussion with your partner. I've had some partners that prefer like 1 major, 2 major as like good constructive to invitational. There are some interesting ideas around there. Most people, there's discussions about constructive raises, like can a major 1 no, 2 of something, 2 major, can that be a very weak hand with like with 3-card support? I think yes, more these days, but like purposely playing that is showing like 3-card support I hate. But I think it can be like a hand that's like too weak to respond to an opening bid that just wants to like pull the brakes a little bit and lie. So there's good discussions like that. Most people play jury. Most people play reverse jury. So 2 clubs is a 3-card limit. That's just like the nuance of like how jury was invented. 2 diamonds jury was invented first. So most people play 2 clubs jury. Most people play 2-way is so like if you like both 2 clubs and 2 diamonds to be jury, you can certainly do that. I don't like 2-way. Your mileage may vary. There's also discussions in here like what's a hard 2 spades? Do you play strong jump shifts or not? Some people play weak. Weak is probably simple. Strong is pretty decent. You can play it as something fun, like some of your like I've played my 3-card raises as a hard 2 spades recently. Or you can play it as like some sort of Fitbit or mini splinter, or if you want that lower, there's all sorts of cool things you can do. Most people don't fill it out, and it's probably perfectly fine. So let's move on to a minor. I normally check 3-3. You could play things like short club and transfers as a modern style. There are some benefits and cons to that. It's con anytime. Your opening bid doesn't show natural length. But there are some huge benefits. to having things like short club with transfers, because you save a lot of space. You can your 18 to 19 jump shifts. You can shift down to like a 1-no rebid. You can change the ranges so that they're lighter, like 17 to 18, which is not something you'd want to jump to 2-no with to an opening bid. There's really cool things you can do here. Most people play like some sort of inverted minors, so double raise as weak. If it's weak, I ask my partner, is it constructive, like 0 to 5, so you can't bid 3-no safely? Is it like some values, like at least one outside king, like constructive? You got to have these conversations with the partner because these can be big disasters. That's something I often talk about. After overcall week, some people play like crisscross, so like as a club 2 diamonds, like your limit raise, you can do things like that. You can play a club 2 diamonds as natural invitational. Same with like a diamond 3 clubs. Like, do you play those as natural invitational? Do you play those as some sort of like invitational raise or your weak raise or your constructive raise? There's things you can do there. Most people play inverted. Is inverted force in the game? Is an invitational? All of these great options. There's no right answer. What about other jump shifts? What's a diamond 2 major? You can play that as strong. You can play that as some sort of good minor raise or like balanced hand. Some people, it's coming back in some expert styles to play a minor 2-no as forcing. Like maybe like 14 to 15, or like good 13 to 15 or 19 plus, things like that are coming back. There's all sorts of great options here. A minor is like one of the most flexible sections on a good 2/1 card. So I'm not even gonna like talk about this in detail, but these are like all the things I talk about with a new partner. In the 2 club section, usually like 21 plus. I don't like to personally upgrade a lot of these like big suited hands to 2 clubs. It takes up a lot of space from yourself. If you have like a 9-card spade suit and like 15 points and a 3 loser hand, like I prefer to open that at the 1 level. Like if you have a 9-card spade suit, like is it bridge? Is it really gonna go like 1 spade all pass? Like I don't see the benefit of like upgrading these to 2 clubs, but your mileage may vary. People do different things. Most people play 2 diamonds waiting. There's great things you can do here, like some sort of 2 hearts cokish, 2 club. That would be a 2 club 2 diamond 2 heart sequence, where you can just play that as a relay and do cool things. There's all sorts of more advanced versions of cokish on top of that, where you can like flip bids, like 3 major and 3 clubs to like save room to flag a major. There's all sorts of like modified cool cokish things you can do. I even forgot in this 1 major section, a common gadget that I love is called I think it's called Gazilli. Is a great modern convention. It's sort of like XYZ, but after like a heart, a spade, 2 clubs, or a spade or a heart, 1-no, 2 clubs. It's like switching your 2 club. It's like switching your jump shifts, which are normally game natural and game forcing, into reverses, and you put all of those into 2 clubs, so that your other jumps can be invitational. And the only benefit is you can never play 2 clubs after a major 1-no, 2 clubs, or a heart, a spade, 2 clubs. But that's like a great gadget I suggest. If you're looking for if you're playing something like XYZ and you're looking for more things like that in your system, Gazilli, great. Next, you talk about week 2s. I normally put something like 4 to 9, 3 to 9. It has to be a 7-point range in ACBL land, I believe. Hopefully this is a 7-point range. I'm bad at counting. People play like things like August, which ask you in steps to like describe the strength and quality of your suit. You can play pure feature. Some people play a mix, like they'll play like just showing 4-card suits after a week 2 diamond preempt, and they'll play Augusta do 2 major. If you're European, you can play awesome things like multi that we're not allowed to play in the US, even though grandmothers can handle it. Down here are other conventional overcalls. Normally this is where I'll put XYZ. There's all these different things, new minor forcing, 2-way. So these usually apply after like a club, a major, 1-no, for example. Specifically a 1-no rebid. 2-way new minor forcing. So there's one-way new minor forcing, which is just new minor is forcing around, and you might have to do things like jump to 3 of responders major to show accepting an invite in a maximal, like you show like you show potentially 3-card support for responders initial major to your minor. 2-way is using both 2 clubs and 2 diamonds as different various hands. It's only after a 1-no rebid by opener, and then XYZ is the same as 2-way, but you also play it after like a minor, a heart, a spade, or maybe even a club, a diamond, a major, depending on your agreements. So these are all good things I talk about with a new partner. This is talking about different jump shifts and things, all useful things. We talked about force in a game. Here I might put in things like our strong club defense, defense to like a both majors bid, like unusual over unusual. Like what if they show a big both minors hand or a big both majors hand, like different defenses. Anything else weird that's hard to put on the card. Let's look at the other side of the card because I can talk a lot about conventions all day. Normally I check things like these. Normally like people play these through 7 hearts, through three spades. You know, you pick like kind of how high you want to go for your different doubles. This is my preference when I fill out a card. No trump defense, things like usually 15 to 18. If you play like a sandwich 1-no, you can put that here. Balancing overcalls, different fun ranges. Ways, you know, what you do for your 2 minor jump. Do you play unusual 2-no, or do you play it as like specifically minors, different things. If you play something like range statement over your balancing, you can put that here. Definitely a cool convention, but usually not a lot of time to talk about. This talks about your overcalls. Usually a good topic. Do we play transfer advances? Do we play new suits forcing? Do we play new suits forcing at the 1 level only? Non-forcing constructive, you know, all these cool things you can discuss. No trump defense, so what artificial defense do you play to a 1-no opening? You can put all of your great cool stuff here. This you have room for 2, so you can put like versus strong, versus weak is what normally people do. Sometimes the partners, I talk about using a different defense in balancing seat. I might list it here, like usually it's like, you know, depending on what's more important, depending on, you know, I might group 2 of these together and like put a small comment here, and then because there's often 3 different types of no trump defenses I'll play with a new partner. So usually like you might check non-forcing constructive, weak, weak jump overcall. Preempts, like this is always very hard to describe to your opponents. I just try to disclose. I vary my preempts a lot by scene vulnerability, so I usually check all 3. But if you have a very particular sound or particularly very light style, you should disclose that on your card. Most people play like a normal Michaels thing. These are like new suits forcing over a takeout double. Do you play like 2-no as a good raise to your major? Most people don't play it over a minor. I've done things like flip-flop where like a minor double 2-no is like very weak or very strong, and then like a club double 3 clubs is a limit raise. You can do cool things like that, like a split range. You know, I've done that before. It's kind of fun. This is like takeout to a preempt. Most people it's good to discuss what you play like a 3 diamond queue versus like a 3 major. Most people, like I like to play a 3 minor queue as 5/5 majors and a 3 major queue as stopper asked. That's usually something I run by a new partner. Slam conventions, this is where you run like if you play 1430, do you play Gerber in any situation? Do you do anything fun like kickback, minor wood, kickback just for minors, you know, exclusion? Do you do 30-14 exclusion? There's other fun things you can think about. Such as like, do you do specific kings? In my regular partnership, I do something called a ball toss bid. Instead of the queen ball toss plus queen ask. It's like a fun convention I play that is a cool thing. You can Google that by Kit Woolsey. This is like what you do over double interference. Some people play like pass double inversion and like different things. Like if they like sack over you, you might put that here. You might put that in the other section. And lastly, we get to the fun carding stuff. You know, do you play 4th class leads? Do you play 3rd low? Do you lead low from double tins? No longer pre-alertable, by the way. This is wrong on this card. Your honor leads. Do you do things like Rusino? Like, do you lead 2nd highest of a sequence rather than, you know, the normal bolded card? How do you lead ace king? Do you always lead ace? Versus no trump. If you want partner to like throw away their jack or their queen, do you lead the ace or king for that? You know, there's a whole like nature of things that you can do, and they're kind of scary. What do you lead mid-hand? Do you lead attitude mid-hand? Like, you might put that down here. Do you echo like a count signal if you play something like third, fifth? You can talk about all these things. How do you give count signals mid-hand? Do you give standard current count? Do you do funny things? Do you focus only on attitude? There's other fun defenses like obvious shift. So like you should mark like what your primary signal is, what your carding is. A common thing people play is like reverse Smith versus no trump. So like I often check that. Foster Echo, no one plays. I think they took this off the old card. Do you do any preference? And do your trump discards mean anything? If so, you should check this. Odd even is a more beginner convention, though I think some Europeans still like this. It's about like your first discard giving attitude through like odd or even pitches rather than like standard or upside down attitude. Leventhal is like your Leventhal. There's like versions called revolving discards. Like, are you giving suit preference signals with your discard rather than attitude? That's where you check Leventhal and describe and put stuff in here. Yeah. So these are kind of the basics of what I do when I go over a card. There's lots of big things to go through. You don't want to have big accidents. I often at least have 5 to 10 pages of notes of a serious partner where we just write out the weird things that are hard to remember for us, and we just plop them in the doc so we can review them before a major tournament. But there's definitely like a whole variety of things. These are kind of the basic things you can sit down, at least when looking at a convention card. There are things on the convention card that are not on the convention card that you obviously want to talk about with a new partner. There are great partnership guides out there. I know Larry Cohen has one. I thought Kieran McCollum had a pretty good one too. If you're like trying to do a serious partnership and you want to know each other well and your style differences. One other common thing I didn't talk about, a very common thing I talk about is like, what is your default rebid in a 2/1 auction? Like, does 2 major promise 6+ cards? Is it your default rebid without a stopper in the on-bid suits? Could you bid, is 2 major often 6 but like really 5 and a dead minimum? What are your jumps? Does a major 2 minor 3 no? Does that show like 15 to 17 balanced? Like, or some, that's kind of doesn't make sense if you play 5 card major common. There are all sorts of great like 2/1 type discussions if you play 2/1. So I hope this helps like think about like what to discuss with a new partner. I've done this so many times that I just kind of like all these common things that are just kind of on my brain when I talk through a new card. And sometimes like you have 10 minutes to discuss a card and you focus on the important things, not the random crap like that's not going to come up as often. And sometimes you want to focus on the very common things and settle that first. And sometimes you have a lot of time and you can add all these fun things depending on partnership memory and strain and like how much time you have to practice and how much like residual life experience you each have playing different conventions, because you don't want to play something your partner can't handle. Being a good partner and putting together a card is often about knowing your partner and not overburdening the system. So these are hopefully good things to think about. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's me kind of talking fast, and I hope it's not very confusing. This video won't be for everyone, obviously. But if you did like it, let me know, and let me know if you'd like me to follow up on anything in particular in this video. I'm happy to make, more system-specific videos about anything I mentioned, or definitely things I could do a video on. So, anyway, hope y'all having a good day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.